I know the world seems like a bad place right now, probably because it is, but if you want to have a little bit of fun, I'll help you with a momentary distraction. A nice, wholesome dose of death metal. Welcome, metalheads. I'm the host of Heavy Metal Philosophy and writer for Metal Digest, JonBarbas. Make sure you stick around to the end of the episode for this week's album art of the week. It's the weekend. That means we got new metal albums dropping on us, and I'm bringing you my 5 favorite. But as always, before we do the top 5, here are some of the big bands releasing albums this week. What do you do when your band's name is synonymous with modern deathcore? Well, you certainly don't rest on your laurels. Being prolific is Lorna Shore with their new album, I Feel the Ever Black Festering Within Me. Check it out. And next up, we got a new album from Between the Buried and Me. Got my hands on this one early. Y'all know what that means. My written review is already published in Metal Digest. Links in the description for all my writings. But basically what I wrote in my review for this one is, this is insane even by Between the Buried and Me standards. And lastly, before we jump into the top 5, there's a new record from Demon Hunter called There Was a Light Here. Recently, I've been asked in the comments, are there any Christian metal bands that I think are good? There you go, here's one. Coming in at number 5, Heravim with Mercator. This is death metal out of Ukraine. And these guys used to be a Robert E. Howard themed death metal band, kind of bolt thrower-esque, but considering half the band fled the country and are working remotely, and the other half of the band are dodging bombings and forced conscription, understandably the themes of the music have gotten quite a bit more personal and existential, but here we are, Heravim are facing the inevitable with a raised chin, a steely resolve, and gnarly riffs. Coming in at number 4, Yotuma with The Final Void, groovy death metal out of Wisconsin. This one starts with a circular riff, then it drops out and there's a bass fill, and then there is a guttural roar. It's a classic opening for a death metal album. I've heard it 1,000 times, and yet this one made me raise my eyebrow because of how intense it was. I must have looked like one of those YouTube reaction channel faces while I was listening to this because of how often it surprised me. The band is constantly pitching change-ups at regular and irregular intervals to keep everything fresh. Plus, there is a song on this record called Sphincter Dremel. I don't even want to know. Just check it out. Coming in at number 3, Nicolas Cage Fighter. I Watched You Burn, some deathy hardcore out of Australia, but don't call it deathcore because it doesn't sound like deathcore, at least not in the modern way that we perceive it. Maybe in its original form from the 90s when hardcore kids were playing death metal riffs and growling. Kinda sounds like that. Kinda, but not really. The lines are heavily blurred here. I love it when bands do that. So if that sounds up your alley, check out Nicolas Cage Fighter. Coming in at number 2, Der Weg eine Freiheit with Innern, black metal out of Germany. That band name, Der Weg eine Freiheit, translates to The Way of Freedom, and the album title Innern translates to Inside. I wrote my review for this one already for Metal Digest 2, and in that review I kind of nerded out on the similarities between German language devices and black metal. That was fun to do, but suffice to say, black metal can be really bad or really good, and this one falls in the really good camp. It runs the full gamut of atmospheres from classic, frigid and furious, all the way to moody and cinematic. Really dug this one. You will too if you check it out. And hey, before we do number 1, at the time of this recording, I'm recording this right now, Friday, September the 12th, before I run off to a gig. There are 10 days left of the summer designs in the Heavy Metal Philosophy merch shop, JonBarbas.shop.fourthwall.com. Links in the description so it's easy to get to. After 10 days, these will automatically disappear forever. and then I'm going out of town, so it's going to take a week or two for the fall and winter designs to go up on the shop. I've got a little bit of work to do on those. They're basically ready, but let's not go too inside baseball. It's going to be a couple of weeks before we get new designs. The OG designs will still be in the shop forever, and the Greek cabin death metal logo will still be in the shop forever. It's just the summer designs that are going away forever. 10 days left. September the 22nd is when they go poof. So if you want these, make sure you get it. Stay tuned here. Now let's do number one. Coming in at number one, Motherless with Do You Feel Safe, Sludgy Doom out of Chicago. And this one is quite abrasive and yet somehow simultaneously highly compelling and groovy. The vocals are done at a throat-ripping volume, but the guitars on this are somehow familiar and yet fresh at the same time. The rhythm section, no matter how caustic the music gets, has this infectious beat to it that you can't get enough of. And even during the most screamy parts, during the most cacophonous parts, the guitars seem to rise up and grab you before gently lowering you back down into that groovy pocket. This band has the attitude of punk, but the sharp bite and musicianship of metal. I love it, and you will too if you check it out. Now, I got a fun one for y'all this week for Dealer's Choice. I'm picking Electromancy with Visions of Utopia. This is a two-person band, and one of them was stricken with Lyme disease back in 2018, I think I read. And as a result of this, got debilitating nerve damage in their hands, which meant they would no longer be able to play instruments, which was heartbreaking. But rather than accepting fate, that person and their friend group got together and created these DIY robots to play the instruments for them. And now they are able to continue to make metal. They've set up all these servos and pistons to play the drums, play the guitars, play the bass. They set up these mannequins with light shows that interact to the beat of the music. They do the vocals over the top of them. This is for fans of the human spirit and gnarly, nasty, abrasive, technical black metal. My favorite album art this week comes from Slomatics with Atomic Cult, Sludgy Doom out of Northern Ireland. Look at this. This person looks like they're having a real bad trip. The whole universe is coming out of their mind as they scream in existential terror. Now, that is a stoner metal album cover I can get behind. I love the color scheme. I love the brightness of it. I love that it's not the same as all the standard same heavy metal album covers that I see week in and week out. This one really pops. This one made me want to listen to it. Fun listen, fun album art. That's why we're picking it this week. Y'all keep it up with stuff like this. And as a reminder before we go, next weekend I will be out of town and I'm unsure if I will be able to do this, which sucks because next weekend is a big weekend. Paradise Lost, anybody? But I will try. Here's how it's going to go. If I'm able to, where I'm at, I will do a super DIY, low budget, quick and dirty version of this and upload it from my phone. If I'm unable, I'll just take the weekend off. It is what it is. But I will let y'all know on social media, all the links in the description. But most importantly, read philosophy, listen to metal. I love you. Like and subscribe, yo.